Next up, I have Federation. We have the USS Lakota. I'm going to say it right here. I think this is the most overrated pack of the bunch. Even though I ended up voting for it as like number 3 or something, I went after going through it again. I don't think it's quite that good.
I would like nothing more to disagree with you, Will, for good podcasting, but I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people put this really high. I mean, it's definitely got some good durability. 5 hull, 4 shields, but 3 attack dice. I mean, even considering the weapon for +1 every time you fire, uh, there's nothing that lets this fire backwards in this pack, right?
No.
Yeah, it's got good defense. It's got a 180 arc, but that's not backwards. It does
And
have
it
an attack
turns.
restrictor though.
It turns. It's got the same red turns, right?
Yeah.
180 if you have a white 2 turn is pretty amazing, right? It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
hard for ships to get out of arc reliably unless they have extra movement.
Yeah.
Uh,
Constitution, Constellation, Miranda.
exactly. When you have red turns, that's a different story.
It gets bonus points for being another named Excelsior. Sure.
Yes. And I think my initial reaction to it was that I really love playing with Excelsior ships, but I would never do it unless they were in a blind. So this is nice.
But yeah.
I would never bring one to an OP in my main list.
Yeah.
Uh, the upgraded phasers are going to be great if you do happen to bump into fighters, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
There's some anti-fighter. Just having anti-fighter tech in 4 out of the 10 blinds is going to be enough to definitely do some significant damage, I think.
Well, I think if these cards weren't in these blinds, every list ever would have a ship and a fighter in their 90 because building a 40-point fighter, it's almost impossible to come up with a 40-point ship that's better than a 40-point fighter.
That is true.
As your second ship too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, presumably stuff like Sakona or your resource is going to be on your main 50, so it's really hard. So these are nice because they certainly give you pause, right? I don't want to have a fighter and run into this thing.
Indeed. The only other problem that I think I have with it, though, is that even though like there's a bunch of weapons in these blinds that are anti-fighter, I don't think we're going to see a lot of them outside of the blinds.
I well, I think upgraded phasers you will because it's an extra attack dice.
Oh yeah, that's the same as all the other basic, Federation. Here, now I'm a 5 attack ship instead of a 2 attack ship every time.
This obviously, for anyone not considering it does pair with Type 8 phasers. They can both go on the same ship. So you can transform your 3 attack ship, and if it's a Federation ship, into a 5 attack ship for 5 points. This is 3. The Type 8s are 2. So
Mm-hmm. Even better,
um,
these both work on primary weapons. So I mean that includes the 360 arcs from Enterprise D and Voyager
yeah, that's right.
because they're not weapon cards; they are inherent into the ship itself.
Um, the other thing that gave me pause about these upgraded phasers as a fighter weapon is this thing is dodging 0 arcs because it moves like a boat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's firing at what, a 4? Yeah.
Yeah, Erica.
So the fighters are gonna fire at Captain Skill 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
With their full
so
6 attack dice.
so
of course.
as long as you can destroy this ship before you get to Captain Skill 4, the phasers aren't gonna get a chance to take off 1 token, let alone 2.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, you can help a little bit with that with Erica's ability to what is it? Can't target your ship, and you can't target their ship, and they can't target your ship. Problem is, you have to disable a weapon, and there's only one weapon in this pack, and that is
That's right.
your phasers that you want to use to shoot things with. I believe I have that on my list here. Where is it? Yep. Poor synergy, poor maneuverability.
will that ability work on fighters because it's an attack?
Oh no,
No,
you'd have to choose like their other ship that would follow up, but
right, right.
until we get
Yeah,
word
because
otherwise that fighters are ships.
the fighters aren't gonna take this out on their own.
Hmm.
But I still I think it's pretty likely to have three ships, or it's not likely. It's very possible to have three ships with a captain skill over four.
Yeah.
Because your fighters and your other ship almost for sure will,
Mhm.
and there's at least a few blinds that do.
Half of the other blinds have a higher captain skill,
Yeah, so
but
upgraded phasers are still really cool. This is a blind that is going to help you against fighters, hopefully, and you want a lot because in unlimited, it's just a great weapon. It makes every
mhm.
three attack Federation ship interesting and OP viable.
Now, was that restriction on it? Hold on a second. All right, three less. Never mind. I was wrong about the Enterprise D and the Voyager stuff.
What's that?
I was saying you could put this on it and it would work on the 360 arc, but they don't have a primary weapon starting at 3 or less.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
It still works great on all the other ones. The Enterprise original, the Miranda, the Reliant. Oh my gosh, my Reliant.
I know the Reliant's kind of cool when you load it up, right? And it gets that you just ram it into range one and really let them go. Really let the attack
Annihilate.
fly.
Yes. Let's see. My build for this one had everything except Tuvok because it's not very synergistic. But Tuvok seemed like the easiest thing to cut because, oh boy, a free scan action with no scan enhancers.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
The only problem I came up with that though is that this ship is very difficult to build to 40. Without Tuvok, you're still at 39. Like, you have to take the generic to hit 40. And
So to get the generic, you take the generic and everything to hit 40.
you'd have to take the generic and drop... heck, what do I even need to do? 30, 33, 36, 39, 42...
I think if you go
Yeah,
to the
just
generic,
the generic and everything will
yeah.
hit 40, exactly.
Um,
But this is a decent
what's the
ability,
ship?
and
What's
it's
the
an
ship
extra
ability
shield. I
again?
want to keep that. Convert a hit to a crit for a power token.
Man, I'd be really hesitant to ever take a 39-point build into an OP.
Because you're already starting from behind the game, but like that's the best way to build this ship to make it effective.
I guess it's not the end of the world because you're probably going to get there blind too.
Mm-hmm.
No one can have a super evasive or attack canceling fleet.
When they have one
protects
ship that can't do anything
Yeah.
cool.
So I guess it's not the end of the world. So you're 39 points is probably the correct way to go. I mean, it's a great chip ability. Wow, it's a good chip ability.
Yeah, this one is solidly behind the Dominion one for me because, well, number one, not a 360 arc. And number two, it might not even always be 4 attack, because you get rid of that weapon, you're back down to your lowly 3 attack, which is kind of...
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, I have it certainly below the Dominion, certainly below the Bioship.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. After that, we have the greedy, latinum-hungering, deceitful little trolls.
Hey, they get the job done. What did Quark say to Cisco? There's no history of slavery on our planet.
He also said weapons. Should have gone with weapons. Cousin Gala owns his own moon by now. But this is not Cousin Gala's moon. This is Nunk's Marauder. And, I mean, again, 3 attacks sometimes. The only card on this, like, the way I build it is without the tech upgrade, which I don't remember what that is. I think it's the Geodesic Pulse.
Yeah, Geodesic Pulse.
But it takes the weapon. The weapon, of course, well, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But besides that, it only has a 90-degree forward arc. It has no real good maneuvering things, because if you even if you take Geodesic Pulse, you can't attack if you use your extra movement.
Yes. A real shame.
It's just weak, and like half of its stuff I think is ganking. Like everything is situational on it. At least that's what I have in my notes. Let me go read the cards again so I can actually go over it. So I can tell you what I really feel about it. But free scan action for a power token. Okay, it's alright. Might help a little bit. But I mean, you're always going to want to be attacking with weapons ports, even if you're not against fighters, because it's 4 dice versus your normal 3.
Sorry, what was that?
Weapons ports is 4 dice, which is still more than the normal basic 3 that you already have.
That's right.
So even if you're not going against fighters, you're going to want to be using this weapon. But if you do, you're rolling 1 less defense dice. So you're basically a 4-0-4-3 ship.
That 1 defense dice is such a gamble anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Who needs that? Let's go. We can take 0 defense dice as long as we have 360 arcs. Oh wait.
Yeah, of course.
We can take 0 defense dice as long as we have 17 hit points. Oh wait.
So the weapon ports are definitely going to have an impact on fighters.
Mm-hmm. Discard 1 attack squadron token for each uncancelled hit or crit result. Max 3. How does this actually work?
Pardon me?
One of the things is, how does this actually work? Because do you still deal the damage and then discard additional tokens based on what you had?
That's a good question.
So if I deal 3 damage to a fighter squadron, does it take 3 tokens first, or does it take the 1 token first and then take 3 more for the ability?
That seems strange,
doesn't it? Even worse is that this makes Federation fighters worse than they already were, because this just straight up gets rid of tokens, whereas normally the Federation fighters would have taken 2 hits to take. Like if this was just flat out like 4 attack dice, this card can deal damage to multiple fighter squadron tokens. I think that would be a normal ordinary card. Like I think maybe even a little weak. You need 5 dice, but
yeah, no. Well, Dominion fighters are the way to go. They already were the way to go, and yeah, if you're going to be running up against this, then that makes them all the better.
Mm-hmm. So the question is then, can this take out 4, or can this only take out 3? Is this actually going to get 3 hits? You can even take... This is where fighters are actually going to finally take the only other action on their action bar, an evade token.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be something to see. You don't see that too often. But weapon ports are really the only thing that you're gonna even look at outside of the blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Geodesic Pulse, there are better options actually in faction for movement shenanigans. So,
are there? Which one?
There's that thing on Quark's Treasure that lets you place your ship within range 1 to 3 of your ship.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah, I haven't memorized all those cards yet, strangely enough, but that sounds familiar. Let's see, we've got... Alright, here's where situationality comes in. You've got Nunk, who gives you a free battle station if a ship within range 3 has a scan token. Oh well, I'm the opponent. I just won't take a scan action. You've got Kidnap. Take a crew upgrade from something that has no active shields. Oh well, maybe I don't have... All my ships have shields, or I don't have any crew. Omag. Discard to use somebody else's non-board weapon. Like, you can't actually use this against the Lakota because it's not a weapon. It's a weapon that doesn't have an attack ability. And the only weapon that I see that non-Borg are using is, well, no, the only weapon that I see using are Borg, because you can't use this to use the magnetic pulse.
Yeah, I think I had this rated just above the Bajoran ship.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
That's where I had it rated, but in between the two of them, I think the Bajoran ship might actually stand a slightly better chance. Although the Bajoran ship has no shield, so you could kidnap Rolaren at least if you get in the range fast enough.
And that's exactly who the Ferengi are going to want to kidnap.
But yeah, Ferengi, I guess it's nice that they have a skill 6, but they have so many weaknesses. Like, the only thing they're good at is shooting at a fighter, assuming that the fighter wandered into their front arc. Their front limited 90-degree arc.
And again, what's their captain, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's their cap? The
six is actually not bad.
Yeah, but any named fighter is going to fire before it as well. So.
Yep, because Ferengi are below Dominion and Federation in the initiative order.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess an attack even at 6 is going to be made first, but at 7, it's not even going to get a chance to fire back.
Oh yeah.
If it gets destroyed.
Murder it. Murder everything. Ah, poor Ferengi. Well, these were the Ferengi from the Delta Quadrant, so you can't expect too much. I mean, they were competing with these other Delta Quadrant races, which were, of course, the Kazon. Ready for some Kazon action?
This is a good blind.
This is not bad at all. It's got a pretty good stat line. You know, essentially it's a 4 attack, 2 defense, 5, 3, captain skill 6. The only thing I left off this one for my build was the weapon. But
does it have a rear arc?
It does have a rear arc. It does not have a rear arc weapon though.
Oh, this doesn't fire at the rear arc.
Nope. This is the auxiliary weapon. This is not auxiliary power weapon. This is not the
right.
Whatever photon beam weapon the other ones have. But this can get up to 8 dice in its first hit, which is actually better than the Bajoran.
Yeah.
Well, okay, technically just as
good. A lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. It has to be at range 3, but again, this is for not an action, and all you have to be is within range 1 of 2 ships. I think that's not too hard to accomplish.
No. And it's got the stat line to stick around after it makes that 8 dice attack too.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got your battle stations action. You've got upgrades for rerolls. Oh, excuse me. You've actually got 2 upgrades for rerolls. Oh no, but you want the plus attack dice from Ambition. But Cullah increases your defense as long as you have a tech. That's a free point of defense, right? The point of agility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything works pretty well together. Like, the only thing that isn't instantly useful is stolen technology. But even then, it's still giving you an extra agility point. You're probably never going to use it. Steal a non-Borg tech upgrade. Well, oh no, you just use the action on a non-Borg tech upgrade. You're probably never going to use it. But it's going to give you a +1 defense die. That said, the problem is that this, when I built my way, you're under 40 points. You're at 39 again.
That makes me nervous, but I think it's okay. I think in the blinds it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Considering the blinds and the things that it's up against, this is still a very darn solid ship, and I would definitely rather have it at 39 than take what? The weapon instead of the crew. That gives me a reroll.
Yeah, agreed. Where do you rank this?
I don't know. It's a little hard for me to say. I would say, I guess it's probably about up there with the Dominion. Maybe slightly less. Sorry to say, because it's got the same red turns. I'm pretty sure it has a backup maneuver though. I have to check that. Do you have it handy?
Yeah, I can check. It certainly doesn't have a come about.
Oh yeah.
Nistrum color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got a back one.
Oh yeah. I think this one is definitely on par with the Dominion one. Like it has, I don't want to say it has that just the one backwards gives it just that little bit of edge and maneuverability, and it's essentially a 5-2, 5-3 or something like that because you've got passive bonuses to attack, passive bonuses to agility. Dominion to make up for it has a 360 arc, so.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is that this edges out on, if you're fighting between the two of them, I think the Kazon wins out for the mere fact that they have a CS6 and Dominion has a CS5. I think it would come that close down to it that it would be determined by the captain's skill.
Yeah, and I actually don't think that one back is a small advantage. I think it's a pretty big maneuvering advantage.
Mm-hmm. You can still get behind it, possibly, but depends on how long it lasts.
Yeah. It definitely does.
We'll make everything smooth.
I think I had it. I might have had it ranked as high as second. It was definitely up there.
It's a good one. Kazon are really good coming into fighting shenanigans blind. When it comes to actual construction, though, I don't think you're going to see this. Well, this ship might be one that's good enough to see actual play, but
yeah, another name ship because their ships are all relatively cheap as well, right? So you can run a lot of them.
Range 3, 6 attack for 26 points.
Hard to complain.
Be nice if you could have more of the named versions, but what you gonna do? At least it's only friendly ship. It's not friendly Kazon ships.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
If it was friendly Kazon ships, you go into the blind and be like, oh, my ability is completely useless.
Well, for those glorious few, those happy few, though.
I will bring the Kazon fleet to every OP event. Eventually, you'll get rewarded 1 in 10 times.
Yeah. Well, or not at all, or more than one, more than likely.
Hey, don't you use your mathematical statistic probabilities on me, sir. You'll get exactly 1 Kazon ship for every 10 blinds you buy.
Yeah, this goes for 10 months. Everyone will get 1 ship once.
Exactly. That's how statistics work.
That's right. Absolutely.
So
actually, the trading around these blinds to get them will actually almost be a little mini game. That'll almost be as much fun as the tournament.
You want my Bajoran Interceptor? Please. I drew 4 Bajoran Interceptors so far.
How many bioships would I have to draw before I would trade one for a Bajoran Interceptor? I'm gonna have to think about that.
I need 2.
I love bioships.
I mean, I guess technically at this point you could now go with 3 of them because you'd have the points and to still take upgrades.
Yeah. The models are better too, right?
That's what I hear.
If
you two are interested in seeing pictures of these models, make sure you check out your local OP events by going to whizkids.com/ whatever it is to the WizKids event system. I don't actually know. It's like WizKidsEventSystem.com. Or check out our friends over at the shipyard and see their nice, lovely, wonderful pictures, and then go to an OP event. Links in the description down below, of course, because maybe if I remember. So that leaves us from carrot heads to well, not spoon heads. That's Cardassians. Ridge heads. Ruffle heads. We've got Klingons, okay? The Klingon Brooke.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. It's not a Vorcha. It's funny. Makes me laugh.
It's a Cavort. Well, I guess, I mean, considering all of the ships we had, the possibility of it being, I guess a Kavort could have been worse. It's not a
It could have been.
Katinga. It's not another Katinga, which
It could have. It could have been a
could have been a
Raptor
Burrell.
class.
Could have been a Raptor. Isn't a Raptor exactly the same cost as a Bajoran Interceptor?
That's correct. Yeah.
That'd be awful. No, it'd be a
Uh,
3-1.
yeah, but
3-1. What? 3-1?
it's a better. It's a better joke. If you want. If you want a Vorcha and you get a Kavort, that's. I mean, that's life. If you want a
Klingons.
Vorcha and you get a Raptor class,
See, you thought that Klingons had all of these Vorcha battle cruisers. That was obviously wrong. You were mistaken. Everyone was mistaken. All that the only thing that the Klingons have is our bird of prey.
that's right.
And the IKS Brooke is proof of that, as well as the Rotaran, which is coming out soon. Pretty sure in the next wave. And, yeah. IKS Brooke. Oh, I should fill up my notes. Where'd my notes go? I don't have a lot of good things to say about it, actually. My build is the generic without the Kurak crewman, but like it's got a decent alpha strike, but it's got like no synergy, and it's a cloaker for better or for worse.
Yeah, well put. For better or for worse. That's certainly true. Do you run ambush attack?
Yes.
I mean, it gives you the chance to kill the Bajoran ship right right out of the blind, right?
Instant one hit KO. Yep. Especially if you can, especially if you just add an extra die from Duras and ditch the targeting systems for a target lock. I mean, that's a pretty good chance of a dead interceptor.
Yeah. And this is reasonably, if it's cloaked, it's what's it got, a hull of 4?
5, actually.
5. Okay. Well, tough to
not bad.
well, not tough to kill, but it's not fragile.
5 agility and 5 hull is not too bad as things go. I mean, that is as technically as good as a Vorcha.
Yes.
The only difference is the one less attack dice, which is another matter, but is a huge matter.
Is a big difference, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the named version has a neat ability, technically, but number 1, you have to not be cloaked. And number 2, what the hell are you doing not cloaked?
Yeah, it's just an Ox token to get an extra evade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take it back. This is a pretty bad ability.
Yeah. It didn't.
The Karaga, which is the same type, gets an extra agility die when cloaked. Period. You know, no range restrictions, no auxiliary power restrictions. Until we get a ship that says, until we get a weapon that is, you know, this weapon deals X attack dice where X is equal to the number of power tokens on your ship.
Wow.
That'd be hilarious.
The combo deck has come to magic when that happens. How many Oxes can I give myself? The interesting card on this pack is definitely Duras, though. Because in terms of Unlimited, you and I probably had a 4 post each back and forth about him.
Mm-hmm.
So
once this guy comes into constructed, like the thing that I'm seeing with this, you know, just by going off my quick and dirty calculations of, you know, whether a fleet captain or things that add extra slots or really cheap upgrades, you can get probably what, +6 attack dice for like 6 points, 6 to 10 points for 10 attack dice or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of ways to load them up, right?
Mm-hmm. My argument for that was that you get one shot of like 12 attack dice, maybe 14 attack dice or something. Will that actually work? Because if it does, I think someone's been doing something wrong.
Well, I don't disagree. It's certainly not going to work every time. I think he's interesting in that we'll have to see how the meta develops because
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to play fighters right now. If I'm playing fighters, then he immediately becomes a lot less viable.
Hmm.
If cloaked mines, which kind of have fighters, you know, fairly well bottled up alone, plus
True.
these weapons make flying fighters not that viable, then I don't know. Then he's an interesting then he's certainly a metagame choice, right? He's certainly
Hmm.
you're looking for an edge, right? And you know kind of what lists your opponents are bringing, but or have a good idea. But he's interesting, and I'm really glad the captain exists because I've wanted Kirk Mirror Universe Kirk is what I was hoping for, but he's in action, so that's no good.
Yeah. And we even found some uses for him. So
Yeah, so I mean this he could be good, and Duras is not your primary um, weapon, which we discussed
hmm
back and forth. So
so
you can put him on
so
your
throw that on
level.
the board, give him a bunch of little tiny drones to toss, and you suddenly have a 9-die magnetic charge.
That's right. Something like magnometric metric charge. Something like the Dominion weapons that ignore shields, or there's that Fina weapon, uh, the Fina Prime, yeah, that ignores shields as well.
Yeah, those
And,
chronoton
and
torpedoes.
and Chronoton torpedoes. That starts to get if you get this up to 9 or 10 attack dice, uh, you're gonna one shot pretty much any ship in the game.
Hmm. He is
And I
someone
think
that you would have to build around, and
yeah,
he definitely has some good tricks. But I feel that, but this is why you think he's awesome. I think he's less awesome because I think there's the other guys that do are kind of weird, funky one shot trick kind of people are like the Wayun attack canceling or some random guy with diplomacy. That's me. I just play defensively though, so that's why I might not see as much use for him, but I'm sure a lot of other people will find some great use for him.
yeah. I mean there are definitely a lot of strategies where he will be a massive liability.
Hmm.
There are a lot of strategies where
And assuming he doesn't get eaten by Golmadred.
yes, true. Though hopefully you're well, yeah, because he has a lower captain skill. Yeah, I mean Madred's everywhere these days, right? So, but
I
what
hope
who can
so.
that?
I don't think he is though. You guys, I'm giving everyone out there in Federation Land of Mission, you need to put Madred in every single one of your builds from now on. Okay, for a couple weeks.
He's very good.
He really is.
He's very good.
Once you go Spoonhead, you never go back. I take that back. Forrest still has a lot of my love and affection. Must be the shiny bald head. Is Forrest bald? I don't even know.
I think so. We don't look at the pictures. We're strategy guys.
I know, right? Apart from that, though, I like to run this thing with the generic version, having the ability to cloak and sensor echo, and well, cloaking plus an evade action. This is one of the big ones that I'm going to say is you need to play defensively, especially against other blinds, because a lot of the other blinds only do 3 or 4 attack damage normally. And if you just like kind of cruise past them with your evasive maneuvers, you get behind them, you turn around, and a lot of those ships are the ones with the red turns that can't get away.
Yes, that's a very good point. It's anything with a 3 attack. It's going to be hard pressed to do much damage to this thing if you're taking an evade.
So overall, as a piece of a build, I think it's one of the lower ones on the list.
Yeah.
One-on-one versus other blind ships, though, I think it kicks up a few notches. So I actually have this one rated fairly highly in my little bracket. Especially since the ships it goes against are like the 3-point Lakota, the 3-attack Lakota, or the 3-attack Vulcan.
Yes. Though well, we'll get to the Vulcan, but yeah.
Indeed.
It's certainly a step up from the Ferengi and the Bajoran ship, I would think.
You'd almost have to be, wouldn't you? All right. So let's go ahead and switch it over. Make it one more part.